my beautiful Atlantis Scalar peeps. What shall we talk about today? I want to talk about whenever I get that rare email where a person says it didn't work for me, it just hurts. I mean, I just feel so bad. But I have done some research by polling, etc. And fortunately, it's only 4%. So that's pretty good odds. Now, I really want you to do the following. And most of the time, it's a subconscious block. The scalar instructions are right there at your auric field, just trying to get in, right? He's a battering ram. And that block can come from, it could come from another life even, or it could come from thoughts that this is too good to be true, or I don't deserve to get better, etc. And it could be so deep down in your subconscious that you might not even be aware of it. But you can do things, especially with things like tandem healing and other kinds of like inner child work. You can get rid of that block and the scalar energy will still be there. You don't have to buy another service. But also very rarely, it could be a spiritual contract that we cannot revoke because there are still lessons to be learned from it. Now, if you find out what the lessons are, then you can figure out ways to learn that. But yeah, those are the two only things. And I really recommend that whenever you buy a service, first only buy one service. You need to test the waters. If it does not work, then it's a subconscious block. 99% of the time. So don't go and order other ones. Let's tackle that block. And I have language in the script, by the way, that asks Archangel Michael to make the intent script more powerful than any attitudes of disbelief, etc. But sometimes the person's thought creating reality, I'm not worth it, or it can't be true, is even stronger than the intent script that I put in the scalar field. And thought creates reality. So who's going to win the war? Your thoughts or the scalar instruction thoughts? Now, so I would only do one service, but also I would use the yes or no question and ask one of the mediums, should I get this, right? And you do that by clicking on the About tab, and then there's a drop-down menu, and you'll see the yes or no question. It's like $5. I don't get the money, okay? It goes to the mediums. Okay. All right. Anyway, now I wanted to say another thing that also it really helps if you watch some of the video testimonials before you purchase anything, because that'll get you excited. You see all these people with these miraculous incomes, and some even saying, I knew you did. I knew the day you were doing my service, I felt it. And that's not uncommon. But also there's patients involved too. Some people, for example, when they do the ERP, they have so much trapped emotions, and we can't just release those all at once, because then you'll be just you'll have these horrible mood swings and roller coastering. So the Elohim releases those little at a time. Same with some other things that the Elohim does for you. Also, I want to tell you that as you know, I had long COVID, and I decided to test a scalar service. I mean, a new thing, a specific service for long COVID. I mean, it usually goes away in time, so you don't have to worry about it. But I had such weakness and a muscle weakness. I had a hard time getting out of the bathtub. You guys know this, climbing up steps and all that. And when I found out that the protein spikes with the COVID virus were neurotoxins, cobra venom, etc., I decided to make an intent script that gets rid of all that. And lo and behold, the next day, I did not have any of those myotonic jerks, the muscle contractions, but also, the respiratory problems I was having. The hypoxemia is due to the nerves being impaired that lead to the diaphragm to help you breathe, right? And the intercostal muscles that help you breathe. So when I got rid of all the neurotoxin that was affecting this, my oximetry went from the usual 92 to 98. I put it on TikTok. I showed the oximeter on my finger. So, and also I'm getting my strength back in my proximal muscles. Distal is far out away from the core. Proximal is toward the core. Same with the legs. Toes are distal, upper thigh and buttocks are uh, proximal. And that's why I had such trouble. You know, Mueller Lake in Austin, that's when I found out how seriously weak I was. There are stairs there that are like pretty tall. It was so embarrassing in front of my daughter Annika and her boyfriend. I had to crawl to get to the other step, and even worse, going back up. It was, I felt like 100 years old. So anyway, that's getting better too. So I'm thinking about y'all see if you have any interest in that. I'm thinking about just making that a service for people with long COVID. Bringing smell back, getting rid of brain fog, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, put your comments or email me, even better yet, Elisa, ELISA, at atlantiscalar.com. Okay, let's read a little bit, I guess. Get under the covers and get all snuggled up. We're going to have a bedtime story. All right. All right. On with the funeral. This is the book. Next, I was at the service. Just like I had instantly traveled outside from my bedroom the day I died, as soon as I thought about going outside, I was suddenly at the service. It didn't weird me out, this new way that time and space were working. Like I said earlier, I wasn't focused on the concept of me so much as what was going on around me in those first few days. Oh yeah, my service. It was kind of surreal. No, it was surreal, witnessing my own funeral. I hovered around the cars of the people showing up. A lot of my friends came, even the ones who weren't so nice to me. Yeah, it was Columbus Day, so a lot of people probably just said, "I'm not going to go to a funeral. I'm going to woohoo, take off for a holiday." But you find out who your friends are. A lot of my friends came, even the ones who were so okay. I did that one. I realized as I watched them that what they had done to me had nothing to do with me. It had to do with their own shit, like peer pressure or things that were happening in their own families. It was like I suddenly understood the plot line of their movies. Wow. I felt compassion for them instead of getting upset or disappointed. And that's when I realized that I couldn't hold on to negative emotions like I could before I died, even if I tried to. I might feel them for a split second, but they quickly evaporated. They were like drops of water falling into a hot skillet and completely sizzling away. Eric, in one session, described them as trying to grab on to greased monkey bars. You just can't hold on for very long. I remember everybody filing through the door and sitting in their seats. I followed my family at the same time I hovered around my open casket. That was the first time I realized that I could split off and be in multiple places at the same time. And it happened naturally, like breathing when I was alive. I watched my mom. She seemed like she was in another world. Yeah, I was. She had moments when she'd tear up, but then she'd pull herself together and meet people with a smile, kind of like being a host at a dinner party. It's like, I know, inside I was saying, why am I smiling? Oh, shit. Everybody deals with grief differently, and my mom deals with it by focusing on the comfort of other people. True. At some point, I realized that I could hear what sounded like a thousand voices in the room. Some of them were talking to me, but not in a way that they would if they were having a direct conversation. It was more like they were talking to me, not with me. Some people asked me why I'd done it. Some told me they loved me and missed me. Some asked me if I was all right, whether they were talking to me or about me. It came right to me in a big symphony of voices. I gotta stop now because I'm the ugliest crier in the world. All right, I love you guys.